Hey everyone, and welcome back. Now, today I want to talk about Jasmy because we just got some really great news, honestly, that Jasmy was just listed on another exchange. This time it was actually in Korea, so a little bit of a smaller market, but overall still really, really good news. I mean, the more exchange listings that a coin can essentially pick up, like usually the bigger and the more high-profile exchanges usually take note and kind of will follow. Maybe not immediately, but a little bit further down the road. So, and obviously, having more exchanges and more people paying attention to Jasmy is always a really good thing. And so I want to talk about that a little bit further today. Now, before we get into that, though, I did want to take a look at kind of what the price is done. And so obviously not a whole lot. We will look into the chart. We will see that there actually was a pretty decent momentary price impact, but overall, Jasmy's still down on the day. However, looking at the week, 11%, and then month, 7%. So doing all right. We'll get to the chart here in a second, but what we can see right now is on X, we can see that Hara, the Jasmy CFO, he basically confirmed a listing on Upbit, which is a Korean exchange. Really, really good news. Obviously, kind of the more eyes and the more prevalence that the Jasmy can get kind of internationally is really, really good. They obviously focus in Japan. Given that Korea is such a close and tangential market, I do think this is probably a pretty decent move as far as just kind of laying the groundwork for some potential future expansions. Obviously, they do have to kind of still release their product and kind of get that moving within the Japanese economy first. But I mean, that groundwork has kind of already been laid, right? And so I think a lot of this is them trying to kind of move towards kind of paving that for future expansion if things kind of go well in their initial Japanese launch. And so moving on, I want to take a quick look at the chart because we can see a couple of different things going on here in the chart. So let's actually get rid of Bollinger Bands here for a second. So we can see a couple of things. So first, we've obviously put in a decent chunk of volume at this level of support here at kind of the 2 cent range. Obviously we saw that nice pump up after the election, but we have bounced and kind of stayed above the 2 cent range, which is really good. As I was kind of mentioning a while back, we kind of started to break down below this 1.7 cent range, and things were looking, potentially a little bit bleak here. We can see on the RSI things looking pretty weak overall, but then we did see that pump coming right back up, which is really, really good because we're in a much better situation. We can see overall that the 2 cent range has been a point of a pretty decent support as well as resistance kind of once we flip that. And so keeping some volume and staying above this level of support is going to be very important for us to see. So far things are looking good. As we saw that major wick up today. I'm assuming this is based on the news of the exchange listing, just because that did just happen today. It has come back down a little bit, but overall, things looking pretty good. We can see RSI sitting pretty even. We have seen a general uptick in volume on Jasmy, not an amazing amount, maybe between 70% to 100% more than what we were seeing kind of down in this area, which is definitely obviously still a win. But things are still looking, like they could have a little bit of improvement, particularly on the volume side. The other thing that we are seeing is that 2.5 cent range. It remains to be quite stubborn in terms of breaking it. We can see we kind of ran up close to it, back here at the end of August. We ran up to it and then got rejected here at late September. And then again, we've seen a couple wicks up approaching this, but nothing to break it yet. And so this 2.5 cent range does remain to be a pretty key range. We do need to see some momentum, hopefully coming up into this and breaking it. I think that would be kind of the best case. What we can see is we won't have seen prices above this really prior to early August. And so, we do want to see this type of volatility coming back, this type of upward pressure and upward momentum. We haven't seen altcoin season yet, as we can see by the altcoin season index. We are starting to move kind of up more towards the mid-range, but we are still in Bitcoin season. Bitcoin is still leading the market. We're kind of seeing this throughout, I would say, the majority of alts. We are seeing, meme coins and some limited alts here and there performing quite well, but overall the alt market just kind of wholesale has not done particularly well. So this isn't anything of major concern for Jasmy. Again, obviously, we'd love to see Jasmy, kind of moving up and doing well and all this type of stuff. But the fact that it isn't so far, at least, isn't too big of a deal. We are seeing something of a bit of an inverse wedge, which is a little bit interesting. We've seen kind of higher highs and also lower lows being hit all the same time. So kind of an interesting thing that we're seeing right now. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of how this develops. We are on a little bit of an uptrend, and so I do think it's pretty important that we continue to hold that, particularly as there is so much bullish sentiment in the market. If Jasmy continues to see essentially continue to hit new lower lows while there is a very like bullish sentiment within the market, that would be of a little bit concern to me. So, not necessarily something that's like, the end of the world, but it would provide, I would say, a little bit of concern, particularly in a market that's so kind of fundamentally bullish. We are seeing a lot of coins moving up pretty well. And so, ones that are kind of struggling at this point in time, they kind of beg the question, I would say. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking and kind of what I'm looking at here. If you are interested in trading Jasmy or any other of these types of altcoins throughout this market, as we're seeing some of this choppiness and potentially some of this move to the upside, I mean, given, if you are a Jasmy bull, we are sitting on a pretty nice point of support. So, you could do a super low leverage long trade if you do believe in the long-term kind of viability of Jasmy and whatnot. You can see I've been using Margex. I use Margex very consistently. You can see I still do have my Bitcoin trade open, getting closer to that 200% point right now. I'm planning on holding it for a little while until maybe we start to see a little bit of weakness with Bitcoin, but haven't seen that yet. And so no need to kind of close it out. I'll probably be kind of peeling, bits and pieces off here and there just as we kind of continue to work our way up. But overall, it's worked out really well. If you are looking to do the same type of thing, there is no KYC or VPN needed. All you have to do is essentially just get signed up and start trading. They do also have up to the $10,000 in deposit bonuses. So if you are interested in any of that, feel free to use that. I also do have the BTCC link below as well. They have that 10% deposit match, which really fantastic deal. So if that's something that you're interested in as well, feel free to take a look at that. Now, to wrap things up here, overall kind of my sentiment that I'm seeing with Jasmy is still looking pretty good. I mean, we're definitely seeing signs of life, so that's really positive and encouraging. We aren't seeing kind of, we're not seeing Jasmy lead the market like we might be seeing with something like Solana or Sui or something like that. But, those are kind of the exceptions. Those are the ones that I think will probably kind of lead the entire market in terms of gains. And so probably a decent idea to get involved with them if you're not, again, not investment advice, you need to make your own decisions and whatnot. But we are seeing a ton of hyper bullish information coming out of both of those constantly. And so I think that's kind of the reason that so many people are looking, so positively on those. Now, Jasmy is still in a good position, I would say. I mean, we just looked at the chart, volumes up, prices up. We're seeing fundamentally kind of stronger movements in the chart. So things are definitely not like worrying yet. But I will say, if we start to see kind of an overall rise within the altcoin market, we do start to hit that altcoin season index where it does show that we are in altcoin season, all of that type of stuff. And Jasmy's still kind of, struggling to maintain some of these key levels of support. Then that's the point at which maybe it might be a better idea to, maybe cut your Jasmy bags down a little bit and move into something else that might do a little bit better. I believe in Jasmy just as much as everybody else, but probably like you or similar to you, I'm here to make money, and so I'm going to move to where the returns seem to be, kind of the most promising. So, I'm hoping, and I kind of have placed my bets that Jasmy will be one, but if not, I'm not too prideful to admit that, maybe it's just not going to happen and then we move to something else. But we're definitely not at that point yet. I do still think that we've got a lot to be seen from Jasmy. We're just talking about an exchange listing, so bullish things are going on within the ecosystem. Jasmy is delivering, things are happening, and so I think kind of Q1, Q2 2025 should kind of be a really great position for kind of some bullish news and things that we think might be on the horizon, as well as that could be kind of when the peak of alt season is kind of kicking off, right? And so if that does kind of happen to work out correctly, then we could see some pretty crazy gains, which would be fantastic. And that's where we're getting maybe the 20, 25, 50 cent, $1 mark stuff, crazy numbers like that. So hopefully you found the information in this video useful. If you did, please do give me a like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, especially getting pushed further into the YouTube algorithm, all that good type of stuff. So I would very much appreciate your support with that. Also, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to read and respond to all of them. So if you have anything you want me to see, that'd be a great way to do so. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.